Hello everyone, this is Kylie Lockhart and this is for the class SATC 230 and I am going to be conducting the Supervisor training program for the signs and symptoms of drug and alcohol abuse. The 5 classes of drug and alcohol for DOT testing is first marijuana metabolites, which is THC, and then 2 is going to be the cocaine metabolites, and then 3 is going to be the amphetamines, 4 is opioids, and 5 is going to be phencyclidine, PCP. And all of these I got from the source is the 49 CFR Part 40. And then on the right here for the picture, that is going to be how they test for all of these. And this is how they do it for the DOT testing. And during these, you just have to either pee in a cup. They can take a hair sample. You can do pretty much anything. It's anything that the supervisor tells you to do and that you have to take. So first is going to be the marijuana metabolites. So the this picture right here is mostly what we call weed. That's going to be like the drug that it is, and this is it rolled up in these little paper. It looks like a cigarette almost, but you're going to light the end of it, and that is pretty much what you do with the marijuana, and you smoke it, and it's pretty much to make you high. So the physical indicators that you can tell someone is using this is red eyes, they'll have a slowed speech, and then the odor will be on their clothing, and then they will have acute brain syndrome. And then the behavioral indicators will be delayed decision making, anxiety, and hallucinations. And then the speech indicators will be very slow and often may have others have to repeat themselves over and over again for them to finally understand. And then the last one is going to be the performance indicators, which is short-term memory loss, fatigue, and it may cause hunger. And so for the cocaine metabolites, it's going to be over here to the right in the picture, and it's usually like a white substance. It kind of looks like powdered sugar, and then they put it in these lines, and they usually just snort it up their nose, which is very bad for you, and since they snort it, it goes straight to your brain. So the physical indicators would be a runny nose, dilated pupils, profuse sweating, and dry mouth. So the behavioral indicators would be mood swings, and they're very irritable. And then the speech indicators will be talkativeness, and then the performance indicators will be difficulty in concentration. And so for the amphetamines, the physical indicators will be dilated pupils and profuse sweating, behavioral indicators, inability to concentrate, speech indicators, and they'll be very talkative. And then the performance indicators will be hyper and careless. And these can be in the pill form, they can be in a bottle, it can be in a liquid form. It honestly just depends on what the drug abuse user prefers, I guess. And then for the opioids, some of these examples of the opioids could be heroin, morphine, and codeine, and that can be in liquid form. It can be where you shoot it in your arms and it goes straight to your bloodstream, like those little needles, or it can be in a pill form. So the physical indicators of that can be nausea, dilated pupils, and dizziness. And then the behavioral indications are fatigue and depression. And then the speech indicator would be slurred words where they cannot speak the correct word, or it's just their entire sentence is just slurred into one. They never take a break. And the performance indicators will be bad temper and poor judgment. And then for the last one, for phencyclidine, which is PCP, I'm trying to say that the correct way. It is over here on the right, and it can be in a liquid form, it can be in a chalky form. Honestly, depends on what they would like again. And then the physical indicators will be nausea, dilated pupils, and dizziness. And behavioral indications will be mood swings, confusion, speech. And then the speech indicators will be wild outbursts, negative outlook. And then the performance indicators will be bad temper and poor judgment. And to finish off for the supervisor training, pretty much if you take any or one of these drugs, there will be plenty of consequences. And one way to kind of make sure you keep your eye out for these is that there could be reduced concentration in the employee, distorted vision, lack of control of motor skills, unnecessary risk-taking, anger, anxiety, violence, fatigue, and unpredicted responses to stimulus. So just to keep an eye on all of these while you are working with certain people who you think may have a substance abuse problem. Employees may have performance, behavior, or appearance in certain ways, and the only way to pretty much make sure that you are correct in anything that you're seeing is to tell a supervisor. But since we are going to be the supervisors, the training that we're going to have to take is going to be with the DOT testing. So if you have any suspicion or anything, it could be you could have, the person could have numerous accidents. You could have pattern of accidents and particular time shifts. So it could be every day at the same time. They might just need like their little fix of whatever drug they need they can't live without. Could be at the exact same time. They could take long hours. They could have frequent visits to the parking lot. It's just small little things that you have to pick up on to make sure that they are not abusing a drug or anything in that sort. You could be unsatisfied with their work performance. It could have a slight decline. You never know what it's going to be. So just to always keep your eye out with any of these drugs. And if you have any suspicion, they can always take a drug test. They cannot tell you no. And so lastly, I have my sources. The one I used the most was the signs and symptoms and indicators file that was provided from our professor. And then the second one is the CFR Part 40 section. And that's what I use mostly. So thank you for coming. And I hope this is very beneficial in your workforce.